Okay, here we are for the Week 8 preview, also known as Harry's Revenge.
Maybe Question mark.
Harry's
Revenge?
Could
Harry's
happen,
Revenge, maybe? Yeah.
Could happen. He could win this week.
I feel like this could be a week. I've been running. Full disclosure, I'm playing Harry this week. That's why it's maybe Harry's Revenge, because I feel like I could lose to Harry. I got pretty lucky against Mark last week. The Dak calf potential, the Rodgers not having anybody to throw to potential. I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little worried coming into a week where I think Trax has Harry projected somewhat strong, about 125 points with what he has in there right now. So,
yeah, and last week I got lucky to beat him because if I combine my two starting running backs between Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders, between them they didn't even play 4 quarters, and I still win. Just crazy.
And who do you have this week?
Sam.
Oh yeah.
So we
talked about that a little bit last night. Yeah.
The complete opposite end of the spectrum there.
Well, let's take a look. Let me bring up the screen share. I forgot to do that. There we go.
The one. Let's see who you have.
I'm looking.
I guess we'll start with
Cal.
Which one did you want to start with?
I was just on Vince and Cal.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's not where we have to start.
There we are. I'm there. Now I've heard rumors and rumblings and whatever. They don't even know if they're going to start Sam Darnold.
Oh, really? Who would it be instead?
Well, he got benched.
Who is their back? Who is the Carolina backup?
PJ Williams or something like that, or
PJ Walker?
Or Walker, yeah, PJ Walker.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Not somebody I'd be running out to pick up, but in a league like this, a starting quarterback is a starting quarterback.
Correct.
Speaking of rumors, did you hear the rumor that by the end of the year, Gardner Minshew may be the starter?
Philly?
In Philadelphia, yeah. I don't know if that's bullshit, but I saw it on Twitter. I mean, and it had the tweet at least had some traction. I don't know if the traction was saying, hey, this is bullshit, but I did hear that. And I remember a couple weeks back, I was talking about Minshew maybe being the best backup in the NFL. Maybe Taylor Heineke's proving that he was the best backup in the NFL, but I think Minshew's up there. That would immediately bring some value to him. I don't mean to be talking about my own team, but
well, I mean, just since you went there, my first thing to do is look at the contract, right?
Sure.
So what do you think the Eagles are paying Minshew?
Probably not very much.
$850.
Yeah. Probably not very much because he came from the Jags where he already wasn't making very much, and
he's only signed. He's only signed through next year. Next year's $965, and then he's a free agent. Where Hurts is $883 this year, $1 million next year, and 1.3 the year after that.
Yeah, I don't know, because the Eagles are trying to tank, right? Like the Eagles are tanking the right way. They look like they're trying to be competitive, but they're going to tank.
Yeah.
So do you tank by bringing in your backup quarterback that might actually be better for the team than your starting quarterback, or do you let the future of the franchise, the future franchise quarterback keep taking his reps and not stunt his development by benching him in his rookie season? When, again, like we said last night, the fantasy numbers always look great, but the real-life numbers don't really ever look great for Jalen Hurts. I don't know about ever, but don't usually look great for Jalen Hurts.
I think this is the second time we've done this podcast in the middle of the day where I keep looking at my watch for sleeper. Like, in the past, since we've started, Baker Mayfield is a full participant. Terry McLaurin is not practicing. Antonio Brown's ankle could be a long-term issue. All since we've started, I've gotten all those alerts.
I need to get that. I really do need to get that app. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, that's just – and they just do the practice reports live. Like, when they get tweeted. So then you don't have to scroll through Twitter. And the nice thing is that it puts your players on there. So, like, whoever's on your team, it's going to give you more information, Well, anyways, back to this with
It's very fancy. Even if I hadn't heard the Darnold rumors, even if he doesn't start, well, if he doesn't, that would be an issue for Vince. He'd have to slide Fields up to QB and then play someone else in the super flex, but he's got options.
Yeah.
The Trax projections are not very high on the return of Nick Chubb.
No.
They are not high on Kadarius Toney playing really at all, less than a point. Shuba.
The interesting thing there with that is he has Chubb and Hunt, right? Where Vince has Ernest Johnson, who would play.
And the projection has him for 10 and a quarter points. So they're projecting still some action from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Vince might just be too good because Brissett is not going to play. Mason Rudolph is not going to play, and Cal is still leaning on Geno Smith.
And Tua.
Tua's been great. Tua was great last week, at least. He's been pretty good since coming back. Let's see, 26, 21, and then the stinker and when he got hurt. But since coming back, he's been averaging 23 points a game.
For me, this could be the week that Tyreek Hill could do that 40 spot. Prime time, home.
Another 40 spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prime time home game. The Giants, they looked awful last week. Now, on the flip side, this is a game where I think Godwin could excel because, like we hinted at last night, New Orleans shuts down Mike Evans. And if Antonio Brown's not practicing.
And it's just it's going to be hard for me to ever bet against the guy fielding Henry and Swift at running back while still able to play a quarterback at Superflex. And he's got good receivers. I almost called him Jamal. Vince has a really nice team.
Yes. Claypool, Godwin, Smith isn't bad. Mike Williams has been really good this year.
Even if Cal got the Fantrax preferred by projection, which means nothing. Even if he stuck those guys in right now, Vince is still projected to win pretty handily. And I think I agree. I do think this is lucky for us in the same division as Cal. I do think this is a win for Vince. That's at least what I'm going with.
And like we had also talked about last night, you look at Cal's bench, he's not going to have Devontae Adams. He's probably not going to have T.Y. Hilton. He's not going to have He's not going to have George Kittle. In 3 or 4 weeks, you don't want to play Cal.
Yeah, this is a good time to run into him when Devontae Adams is going to miss a shootout due to COVID. Yep. He's not actually hurt, He's going to miss a huge shootout game. Now, would that make a big difference? He'd be able to play him instead of Kadarius Toney. I mean, that would, especially if Toney is injured or even if he plays, he's probably going to be limited. That would be a huge boost. Matchup deciding boost. I don't know, man. You'd need another great game out of Tua, and you'd need a really good game out of Geno Smith. And I just don't know if the good game out of Geno Smith is there.
That's true. I mean, did he just have a good one this week?
12 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 10 and a quarter the week before.
I mean, it's Jacksonville, but you could see them just running the ball and winning that.
I've watched quite a bit of Jacksonville this year. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the numbers say about their defense. It's probably not great. They give up a lot of points, but I don't know where they are on quarterback pressures or anything. But when I watch them, they don't look like one of the worst defenses in the league, mm-hmm. and they don't look as bad as the Chiefs. So I don't know. Geno Smith's not a very good quarterback.
No.
So I think I would lean on the odds of him having a 20-point game are probably pretty low, even against Jacksonville.
Okay, so I mean, anything else we want to say more about that?
No, I think I'm going with Vince. I just think he's too good right now. I think he's too good, and you're missing Devontae Adams, you're missing Kareem Hunt. I think that's too much to overcome. I think it's Vince in this one.
Now let's go to yep. That's the next one I was going to do.
All right.
That looks like an actual. Who do we think could win this game?
Well, right now we've got the Superflex empty for Jeff.
Yeah.
The way he's been talking, he may very well start Joe Flacco. He thinks the Jets are going to beat the Bengals, and Joe Flacco is going to throw all over him. So
there is that was another one that was right before I went online. Baker is expected to be a full practice participant today.
Ooh. So he would actually have a decision to make. You could go Baker, you could go Ben, you could go Joe Flacco if you really think the Jets are going to go off this week.
Yep.
I mean, I guess he didn't say go off. He said beat
Win.
the Bengals. That can mean 10-7.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Garoppolo does get Cousins this week, so he won't have to be playing Case Keenum. But the rest of the team, maybe he gets Barkley back. Maybe he gets A.J. Dillon in there, and it's a big A.J. Dillon game without Adams, without Lazard. Diggsy's back.
What was it? I think Cousins suffers from the similarly Andy Dalton primetime game awful.
Primetime-itis.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs this week against Dallas, who's not an amazing defense.
I think this could be a closer game than maybe it looks on its face, but I don't know. I think this could actually be a pretty close game.
Yeah.
Because the receivers are going to get way better for Garoppolo. Like I say, at the very least, he's going to get Diggs in there. And I don't know if I would play Kenny Golladay. Is Michael Gallup ready to come back?
Well, now here's another question for you. If you're your dad, would you play Devontae Booker on Monday night or A.J. Dillon on Thursday night?
Man, what did Sleeper pop anything up for Saquon? Has he practiced today?
No, I haven't. No,
not for Wednesday's practice and going through stretches. That was at 9:19 this morning. So he was dressed and stretching. So, I mean, I guess that probably bodes well for him playing. And
you got to wait. It's the Thursday night versus Monday night. Do you take the shirt? Dillon's going to have a role with no receivers in Green Bay, where Devontae Booker could be 15 or he could be 0.
I'd probably play Dillon over Booker, with it being that Saquon, at least as of a couple hours ago, was dressed and stretching for practice. If the report was like, Saquon's nowhere to be found, at the beginning of Giants practice, that would freak me out a little bit more. And we'll still get tomorrow. He'll still get tomorrow to figure that out. If Saquon, re-aggravates something or whatever, he'll know that by Thursday night. But I think the best bet is probably to play Dillon over Booker, and then leave a spot, leave a flex or whatever, and you toss in the guy that's definitely going to play of the two. Yeah,
and he has some options, because you've called the Robert Tonyan 3-touchdown game.
Yeah,
your dad can't bench Kelsey.
No, he can't, and he's there. Look at what Trax is projecting 16 points for Dan Arnold this week.
Seattle's defense is bad.
Yeah.
But, I'm looking at that, like I'm scrolling down the rosters, and you got Tonyan, you got the Arnold thing, you got who else? Oh, we had A.J. Dillon. We have.
He's got Alex Collins. Yeah,
on the bench. He's got Stephon Diggs against Miami, who's still not in.
Diggs will be starting. He'll probably start him over one of these guys, Pringle or Gage
or Raymond.
Yeah, he's going to be in there unless he gets traded.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at that, and
I
then
haven't heard back from him.
you should have the big Kelsey game. There's a lot more upside in your dad's lineup where there seems to more safety, and I don't see the same upside in Jeff's lineup outside of Kamara.
I see pretty much anybody that Jeff puts in that super flex, Flacco, Baker, Ben, they probably all have about the same ceiling.
Yeah.
Just the way they've all been playing, and Baker's, coming off of somewhat significant injuries for a quarterback. I don't see the ceiling being much higher than 15 or so points. So I think I give the advantage at least at QB to the Garoppolo's team.
Correct.
But it's hard to give it to him anywhere else except tight end.
Yeah.
Jeff has the better running backs. Even if Barkley's healthy, I don't know. If Barkley's healthy, Barkley and Edmonds could easily be better than Connor or Kamara.
Correct.
Kamara going up against the Bucks, pretty good run defense.
Now, going further down, would you rather have whoever he could play, whether your dad plays Mike Davis, A.J. Dillon, or whatever, versus what are you going to get out of Antonio Gibson?
Well, Gibson, he hasn't been great, but yeah, the last 2 weeks I didn't realize he had a 4.4 point week the week before, so he has been pretty disappointing, like supremely disappointing the last 2 weeks.
And like we mentioned last week, it was, I think, and I look back, it was like 56-44. So it wasn't quite 60-40 split, but McKissick was on the field 56% and Gibson was 44%.
And that was his third game under 10 points on the year, and we know he's got a broken leg. Yeah. So yeah, that's a little scary. At Denver, the thin air thing. I think I'd probably rather start Mike Davis, honestly, because Davis had the bad week last week, but he's been good for 10, 11, 12 points every week other than this last one, which is kind of weird because they scored 30 points, but he did nothing.
I mean,
it seems anomalous for him.
It's a good problem for your dad to have, but unfortunately, when you have that problem, you're going to choose wrong. Like, who does he choose?
Yeah.
Mike Davis, we mentioned A.J. Dillon, we mentioned Alex Collins,
Yeah, there's only so many spots those guys can go. They don't all have that Cordero Patterson running back / wide receiver eligibility.
Correct. But just for me, because of upside, I'm choosing your dad. But what were you going to say?
No, I think purely based on the quarterback and tight end, I think maybe Kelsey. I don't know that I have a lot of faith in Mo Alley-Cox catching another touchdown. Mm-hmm. And Jeff doesn't have a whole lot else going on at tight end. Austin Hooper. I think Kelsey could significantly outscore whatever Jeff has going at tight end. And I think that quarterback difference is going to be probably the big difference maker. And I think I will agree with you. Maybe personal bias. I'm pulling for my own father to win. He needs a W to buoy his spirits a little bit, but I think maybe this is a week that he could actually pull it out. Do I actually think it's going to happen? His team's been pretty bad. But yeah, I think it can happen. Big week out of Diggs, big week out of Kelsey, the quarterbacks. Saquon comes back. Yeah, I think Garoppolo's can do it. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah,
I think he can. I'm not saying he will, but I think he can.
Let's see. I guess the next one. We got a close one here too. Oh my God! Have you ever look at this? Because it's the next one above. Do you see the 0.99?
Yeah. A tenth of a point, eh?
100th, right?
Yes.
One 100th of a point.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
either way.
Old. I can't.
Either way, it's
ones, tens, hundreds. A tenth.
Someone will correct us.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
The lineups probably aren't going to. Well, I don't know. could take a look
Let's take a
before
look,
saying
yeah.
that. Maybe these guys kind of have. Would Don get Javonte Williams in there? Will he maybe get Randall Cobb in there?
What about even McKissick?
Man, who's he going to – he's got Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and Darrell Williams already. Would you sit any of them for McKissick against Denver?
Let's see.
I don't think I would. I'm
Yeah.
playing Darrell Williams Monday
Yeah.
Night Football against the crappy Giants. And,
Yeah,
and
you're
you're
not-
always playing Taylor and Jones. So
And of course, you're going to play Ryan and Hurts.
yeah.
So yeah.
I don't think there's a whole lot Don can really do there. It's kind of a good problem to have. Jeez, maybe I should hit Don up about Javonte Williams. Wonder what he would like for Javonte Williams.
Let's see. And at wide receiver, he has. I don't think any of those guys.
Crowder, I think it was you that said Crowder game.
Yeah.
This week after I said maybe Corey Davis game, Crowder, it could easily be Crowder. If you believe what Jeff believes, that the Jets are somehow going to beat the Bengals, they're probably going to use the air. So
I think it's more of a regression to the mean where they so overperformed against the Ravens that they're due for a letdown against.
I think Chase and Higgins and Mixon, I think they are all that good, and I think Joe Burrow is probably that good too. And the defense is kind of sneaky good. So I'm not some Bengals truther or anything, but I don't know if they beat the Ravens. Do they beat them 7 or 8 or 9 times out of 10? Probably not. But I don't think they're lose to the Jets bad either.
Yeah. And I'd
be playing the Bengal defense. If I have Bengal defense or you can pick them up anywhere, I'd be playing them this week against Joe Flacco.
Yes.
And the Jets.
Well, so let's see. Don's lineup's pretty set.
I think so.
Is there anybody? I mean, maybe.
There's no obvious. I don't think there's any obvious guys on the bench that you would definitely say, oh, this guy should be in there. I don't see any one of those, at least for Don. I don't think I really see one for.
The only one that maybe is like, what tight end does he play for, or do they play Game of Jones? Because, I mean, they're all kind of like he has it O.J. Howard and Hurst and Jarwin,
And Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yeah. And Jonnu Smith.
Seals-Jones has been nice. I mean, lately, the last couple of weeks, averaging 13 points the last 2 weeks. Boy, yeah, this is tough.
Let's see.
I'm a little shocked that they're only projecting Kyler for 23 points in a game that.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts at 27.
Should be a shootout. Detroit is really bad, but if the Eagles go up early, I don't know why Jalen Hurts would be running the ball a bunch. So, I don't know. Maybe a little low on Joe Mixon, too. 13 against the Jets. If the Bengals go up early, it could be a Joe Mixon handing off to Joe Mixon kind of game.
And maybe this is just me again. I still don't believe in the guy, but it seems a little high for Mac Jones against the Chargers. That defense is no.
Man, I don't know. He's had a couple of, he's 7.5, 11.5, 11.5, 12 and 3/4. Yeah, he's actually the 120-point game. That was his best game of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, projecting for 16 might be a little much. I think maybe the Charger pass defense is probably better than the run defense. Yep. Does that sound about right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe the projections, maybe they're a little high on Mac, but I think they're definitely a little low.
Yeah, for sure.
On Kyler.
For sure.
Maybe a little high on Cooks against the Rams, and still maybe if Tyrod's back, maybe that's assuming Tyrod's back. But when we were looking at my dad's team, they still had Tyrod, I think, for 0.
Yes.
So if Trax is saying it's 16.77 because of Tyrod, that's one thing. But I don't think he's coming anywhere close to it. Well, he had 17.9 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last two before that, 5.3, 9.7, and 7.1 last week. I don't know. It feels a little high against the Rams, like a really good defense.
The other one that, and we kind of alluded to this one earlier, getting 20 out of Justin Jefferson. If you believe in the Kirk Cousins sucks primetime narrative.
I believe Justin Jefferson is really good. I can see that. What I think might be high is 12 out of Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett hasn't scored 12 points since week 2. So
and you got Geno Smith.
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting 12 points out of Tyler Lockett. He hasn't been there since September 19th. It's been well over a month. He hasn't scored 10 points combined the last 2 weeks. I don't know where you're getting 12 from. Maybe a little high there. Man, I really think you could flip a coin with this one. If you're putting a gun to my head, I think I probably got to go with Game of Jones. I think Jones and Taylor are huge for the Bulldogs, but I got way more faith in the young guns wide receivers than I do.
Yes, that's literally what I was trying to look at. I was like, where do I see a distinct edge? And to me, it's the wide receivers.
Dog.
To me, you're right. It's the wide receivers. Like those, with Jefferson and McLaurin, they have such a safe floor that their floor could easily outperform Woods, Lockett, and Crowder.
Yeah, it could be a stinker from Crowder. I mean, Joe Flacco could be really bad, and even so, Crowder the last couple of weeks, 7.4, 8.4. He's tantalized with potential before in big games, but he also could throw up a big goose egg.
I will side with what you say, and I will pick Game of Jones as well.
And I think the upside is just a little bit there, and you can see the downside a little too clearly on the other side with Lockett and Crowder, especially. That's my main worries with Don's team right now, at least in this matchup. Let's go to Dwight and Mark. Yeah.
So Mark is projected to win without even a tight end.
Yeah, without a tight end, Mark is projected to have a monster week, 140 points.
Mark does not have a tight end. Like,
how is that possible, Mark?
Look,
He's got Noah Gray. He's got the Chiefs backup, and he's got a rookie for the Houstons. And that's it.
I think I might have to talk to Mark this afternoon.
You could give him Jimmy. Oh, no, you don't have Jimmy Graham. Yeah, that's Dalvin.
No, I have, and I'll pull it up. I know I have 3, if I remember right. I have Cole Kmet, Evan Ingram, Dawson Knox.
But real quick here, this is Dwight's team without Dalvin Cook and without Keenan Allen in it right now. So let's just go ahead and assume Dalvin Cook gets played over David Johnson, and Keenan Allen's going to be in there over Darius Slayton. Man, he probably plays Slayton against the Chiefs. He's going to be in there over somebody, over Robbie Anderson.
Well, what about – I looked at this. So he has Zach Ertz. Dalvin does. Dwight. Sorry. And he also has Hawkinson.
Boy, which one would you play this week? Would you play Ertz against the Packers, who you think are going to lose? Or would you play Hawkinson, and I don't even know who they're playing?
Philly.
Probably play Ertz.
Yeah.
He's probably good for a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you expect the Cardinals to light it up.
Yeah, I think despite what the track's projections say, I think I'm just going to go with Mark, with the bad luck continuing for Mark. I think
Yes.
somehow it's going to happen. I don't know how exactly. I don't know that I see 21 points out of Austin Eckler again against a very good. Oh, no, goddamn, they're not playing the Rams. I don't know why I thought they were playing the Rams. They're playing New England. Not very good. And I think they just lost a corner or somebody decent on that defense. So maybe he does go for 21. But, yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know, Mark. It just hasn't been working out for Mark.
You know, when I'm looking at it on a flip side, Mahomes Brady is a push. Is it or?
Well, I mean, Brady's been incredible, and Mahomes has been good, but not as good as you kind of expect. You know, even his bad games have been 23, 19, 23, 24. And like I was saying last night, I think the Chiefs are going to want to try to kick the shit out of somebody. And what better time to do it than Monday night in Arrowhead against a pretty bad Giants
And
team.
that's why if you scroll down to Dwight's super flex, it's Daniel Jones. I could easily see single digits out of him.
Yeah, I could.
Monday night.
It's a tough place to play. I know the Chiefs have not been as invincible at home as they have been in the past. They've lost to the Raiders somewhat recently at home. You know, they just got emasculated by Tennessee. But they're still the Chiefs. He is still Patrick Mahomes, and it's still Arrowhead, and it's still the Giants.
And I also see the flip side. Matthew Stafford and the Rams could just pour it on Houston.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, do I really think that like Mark is going to put up a goose egg? No, but it just seems that his team never gels at the same time, and that's what this projection is based on. Is like these guys all being really good. I don't know that I see 13 points out of Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
And projecting 17, almost 17 out of Calvin Ridley. He's only hit that once this year, and kind of like Tyler Lockett, he hasn't done it since September 19th. I mean, he's been 14, 15, 12 and a half, but I feel like that's projecting Ridley's almost his upside is not 16. His upside is like 30 plus, but Matt Ryan just doesn't seem to need Ridley to go downfield or want him to go downfield. Kyle Pitts was the downfield guy last week. Ridley's ADOT was like 6 yards, 7 yards. He barely got any air yards. I just don't know if I see it.
Yeah.
And Zeke and Pollard, you know, combining for, 20, 23, 24 points. And Minnesota's not very good. I guess I suppose I could see that somewhat easily. I don't know. I just feel it feels like another Mark. It feels like another Mark disappointment. That's what it's been so far for him. I think it's just silly to predict anything different at this point.
That's true.
Sorry, Mark. He knows. It's just he knows. That's just the way it's been for him so far. So I'm going to go against projections. Now, if Mark gets some kind of tight end that's projected for 8, 9, 10 points, and maybe that does kind of overcome. If you take his projection up to 150 instead of 139, but you still got to remember Keenan Allen's going to be in there for Dwight. Dalvin Cook's going to be in there for Dwight. Maybe Adam Thielen's going to be in there for Dwight. So you could easily play Thielen over AJ Green. But if you think the Cardinals are going to stomp the Packers, maybe you keep AJ Green in there. I don't know what Dwight's going to do. Thielen over Slayton for sure, I would say. Yeah, so I don't know. If the Vikings have a big game coming off the bye,
can you pull up Robbie Anderson real quick?
I don't know what you need to see is a bum.
Does they have the targets? Does it show targets?
Yeah, I feel like it does somewhere.
Maybe it's in stats. In the stats part.
Stats.
Oh, well, it won't let you go. Individual or game. Maybe games. Try games. There you go.
Targ? No, I don't see any targ.
Game log. It doesn't show targets? Huh.
What the F? Oh, overview. No, overview. No, stats. No. No. That's so stupid.
Yeah,
I bet Sleeper shows targets.
Oh yeah, 100%. I know they do.
Tracks, man. I just I've had it with them this year.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we get it. I know he's been getting some targets though. He hasn't been doing
But-
shit with them.
Yeah, that's the thing. 3, 3, 2, 5, 1, 3.
And no, like what you expect from Robbie Anderson. He's fast. You expect like the big play. You know, you expect that 50, 60, 70-yard touchdown to at least buoy at least 1 week from him. You know, he's supposed to be able to be a Will Fuller type. You know,
here's your arbitrary stat point, and I think you have it staring you in the face. How many catches over 26 yards does Robbie Anderson have?
Is the answer 1?
Yes. 1.
That's not what you're looking for, right? But I think that's a Sam Darnold problem, man. I think that's a Sam Darnold problem. I think Sam Darnold sucks. I mean, I don't think that's not a revelation or anything. Sam Darnold does suck. It just was those rushing touchdowns early in the year that was making him look much better than he was.
And he only has 2 over 19. That's not Robbie Anderson. That's not what
I don't know what the Panthers are going to do, but the answer is not Sam Darnold.
Yeah, you pay.
If the question is who's going to take us into the playoffs or whatever, the answer is not Sam Darnold. If the question is who's going to keep us wasting the Mike Trout of baseball, or of football, because Christian McCaffrey not in the playoffs sucks. And that's what we're going to keep getting if they're going to lean on Sam Darnold to be the quarterback in Carolina, wasting a pretty good defense and a pretty good receiving core right now.
Oh my God! You want to talk about? So I just my thing lately, contracts, right?
Yes.
This year, Sam Darnold is getting paid $4.7 million. Okay. Next year, $18.8 million.
It pays to be a quarterback in the NFL, even a not very good one. I should have practiced throwing a football when I was a kid.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, anyways, I think we both agree. We're saying that Dwight's going to win.
The disappointment continues for Mark. I think Kenneth Gainwell has a big game this week. I think Dalvin Cook is going to – I think Dalvin is going to keep cooking. I think this is 3 in a row for Dwight and another week of disappointment for Mark.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Mark, if you're listening, I have 3 tight ends. So, Mark, if you're listening, I have 3 tight ends available.
Mark does listen, and you may expect a message before too terribly long.
Yes. All right.
Let's look at you and
Sam.
And the Crushinator, Run CMC, who for you young kids, I think maybe I'm crazy, but Sam might be referencing Run DMC.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to Wikipedia or Google what that is, but knowing Sam, it could be something completely different and off the wall that I just am not picking up on. What do you think? I'm gonna let you take the reins because I want you to break down what you see in your matchup here.
Well, just looking at my team, I'm not going to be I don't have 2 starting running backs picked out. Like literally, I have 0 points in the running back position right now.
Sure.
Because I don't know if Miles Sanders is going to play, and I have another empty spot. Am I going to start the Buffalo?
Even if they say Miles Sanders is dressed, you're gonna start him. What would possibly make you want to start Miles Sanders? He's got a sprained ankle.
If he gets a full practice, if he gets 2 full practices, Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
Because if he's a full participant,
I guess then there's no reason to think he's going to be limited in any capacity. Yeah. I just feel like there's no way that's going to happen. But maybe it wasn't that bad. Yeah. I haven't heard much. But my train of thought has been that it's a Kenneth Gainwell kind of week.
It could be. But I got Elijah Mitchell against the Bears and the Buffalo running back, whichever one I choose, probably Moss.
Yeah, whichever one you want. Yeah.
Against the Dolphins. So I mean, you could say 20 to 25 points. I'm gonna get at least a 5 to 10 point upgrade with Herbert, because I'm not starting Goff over Herbert.
Yeah,
Herbert was on bye.
I'd say that's also being conservative.
Yeah,
I think Herbert could light up the Patriots this week.
Yes, he could.
Another reason why I like Dalvin Cook and with Keenan Allen in the lineup, I feel like Herbert and Allen could connect this week big, or maybe Mike Williams, one or the other.
I haven't looked at the standings, but my guess is that this Tennessee-Indianapolis game means a lot to both teams. I don't even know. I'm not that familiar with the AFC. What are they? The AFC Central, or what is that? Sorry.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know what they call them anymore.
South. The AFC South. Sorry, that's what it is. So yeah, the Titans are 5-2 and the Colts are 3-4. I expect Julio to battle through how he did last week, and I expect him to put up a big game. So
Julio over Allen Robinson?
Yes, and I'm probably going to keep Landry, but I'm probably also going to start Laviska. Because Seattle.
Would you rather Allen Robinson or Laviska? You have this choice to make.
Laviska.
Okay.
I think for me, I'm gonna wait until Robinson burns me 1 week on the bench instead of keep rolling him out there. So he's more of a hold and bench instead of a hold and play.
So sprained knee Jarvis Landry, you start over Robinson?
Yes, because I think he played last week. Did he re-injure it?
He didn't practice on Monday. That's what Track said. He did not practice Monday.
That's more – I think that's more –
MCL from last Thursday's win over Denver.
I think that's more maintenance.
Right. Yeah, he's not exactly super young, I don't think.
And if you get Baker back, Baker's full go today. And that Pittsburgh game could be high scoring. So, yeah, I'm probably going to start Landry, Kupp, Julio, and Laviska. Those four. Now, what does Sam have that is on the bench that he didn't play last week? I don't know.
I think his lineup is it looks pretty well set unless he ends up getting Antonio Brown in there. But with what you're saying, and Trax agrees that he didn't practice Wednesday and was on a crutch.
Yeah.
So you probably have to assume no Antonio Brown. So I don't know why Trax would report that and then also be projecting him for 16 points.
Because let's say it together. Trax
sucks. Suck. It just seems misleading. It's like your one report shouldn't say he didn't practice and he was on a goddamn crutch, but we're also projecting him for 16 points. That seems like you're projecting him for like a full load.
And then the same report, 2 or 5 players down, Rob Gronkowski returned to practice, but he's getting 6 points.
Yeah. And that's not even my main gripe with them.
No.
I don't really care about that because as we've all discussed, I think Track's projections are whatever they are. I don't think any of us are setting our lineup based on Trax's projections.
No.
But I don't think Sam has a whole lot going on. He's got Cole Beasley in the Superflex, which actually could be – I think Dawson Knox is out this week.
Yeah, he's got the broken whatever.
Yeah, so could be a Cole Beasley game. Could be almost as good as a low-end quarterback in the Superflex. They have a pretty favorable projection for Darrell Henderson, but that makes sense because it's the Texans. I think maybe they're a little low on Christian Kirk on your side. I do think that game should be still somewhat of a shootout, even with Devontae Adams. Only 10 points from Kirk. And I don't know. I think it seems to be about his floor lately. The last, 4 of the last 5 weeks, he's went 17, 1.5, but 10, 18.5, 15. So 10 seems to be about the floor for him.
Yeah. In a game
I think this is going to be a close match. I think this is going to be a damn close match.
Yeah.
Closer than the projections make it look because of what you said. You're going to have these running backs in there, probably throw 20, 25 points on for your running backs, and you're going to do some wide receivers shuffling and get a boost from that. And, of course, the big quarterback upgrade from Goff to Justin Herbert makes this matchup look a lot tougher than it looks for Sam right now.
And then, this is just, again, this week I'm looking at, okay?
Sure.
We said we alluded to the Mike Evans matchup against Marshawn Lattimore. I don't foresee 15 happening.
Yeah, you think he's going to get pretty skunked.
Yep. Do you really believe DK Metcalf is going to produce with Geno Smith?
No, like I said last week, that was offensive pass interference. He should have had about 3 points. One catch for 9 yards or 2 points, whatever the hell it was. That's what he should have had.
Now, I'm not saying
Lockett wasn't good either. It wasn't like it was a Lockett game and not a Metcalf. They were both bad because Geno Smith's not a good quarterback.
No, I'm not saying that Sam's team isn't better than mine. It is. But all we're looking at is the 1 week.
I think you were right last night that you might be catching him at just about the best possible time you could catch him.
No Lamar Jackson, no Christian McCaffrey, no David Montgomery.
Yeah.
No Antonio Brown, Mike Evans in his kryptonite.
Going up against one of the best corners in the league. Yeah.
And DK Metcalf not having Russell Wilson.
It's a perfect storm.
Yeah,
now the terrible thing will be if Sam beats you.
Oh,
we will never hear the end of it.
No.
Because this is going to turn into you guys think I suck and Tony's going to crush me. Sam's good tech wise. He could probably cut me saying that out.
For sure.
And, play it as a sound clip. So I know he's got that in his head that he's a 6-1 underdog somehow. But if there's a time to face Sam, it's this week, and Tony's going to have a decent team to do it.
Just to make it fun, I'll make it publicly known right now. Sam, here's your pizza bet for the game.
Ooh, I thought it was coming last night, and it didn't. I didn't want to throw it out there on.
No, I wanted to wait for the
words in your mouth, but I figured it was coming. Yeah.
So, Sam, I know you listen. I know you'll listen before kickoff. We have until 6 p.m. Central Time Thursday night if you want to settle up a pizza bet for this matchup.
Put it on the board.
Yeah, just to make it interesting. But like we said, we're not. Neither one of us are discrediting Sam's team at all.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to say it because I think it makes for better Discord fodder. I'm going with Tony. Okay, I don't like to root for the guy in my own division, but I'm going for Tony to be the giant slayer this week and take Sam down. Maybe not a full peg, but just a notch. Not even like a full belt notch, but like a half notch or, a half shoe size or something. Like you're going to knock him down a little bit. Just take an axe and whack one of those knees and unsteady him just a little bit.
So I think I'll make it even more interesting. My favorite college team is Iowa Hawkeyes. And whenever people talk about what are you going to do, what's your prediction for the Iowa game? And I forget who it was or who started it, but everyone always said Hawks by 1,000,000. Curb your enthusiasm by 1,000,000 over Sam.
1,000,000.
1,000,000. The first 1,000,000-point defeat.
Oh, this is not going to be good if you lose. You better pull this out because we're not going to hear the end of this.
Oh, I won't hear the end of
if you lose. All right, we're both going with Tony. Yeah, we're both going with Tony. And in the last matchup of the week, it's me, and it's the. Is he winless? It's the 0-7 guy from New Zealand. The projections have us pretty close right now. Of course, I'm not going to probably be starting Mark Ingram. I get James Robinson back. I'm not going to have an empty wide receiver. So I don't know. There's a ton to say here. I said maybe I could see Harry, and anything can happen. He's had good weeks. But I think I probably do. My bench is projected for 118 points, almost as much as my starters. Go
Oh,
ahead.
good. I was looking. You have outscored Harry by almost 200 points this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think, getting I'm going to have Dak, assuming Dak is healthy. If he's not, Heineke's not all that bad of a replacement. If you look at his fantasy games, 20, he had a couple of 10s, well, a 9 and a 10 in a row, but then a 28, a 20, a 20. He hasn't been terrible. I don't know that I love the matchup at Denver, but if Dak is for whatever reason not going to play, that calf injury, what do they say about him today? Individual drills while the backup Cooper Rush will take more first-team reps in practice. So that doesn't sound great. But
No.
at least I have a quarterback either way that I think I can safely rely on 14, 15 points out of.
Now, is this the same leg that was decimated last year?
I don't know. It just says calf. And it says straining his calf. It doesn't say left or right. I believe, if I remember, it was his right ankle. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's not a big deal. Either way, I get CeeDee Lamb back this week. So he, of course, is going to be in there. James Robinson is going to be in there over Mark Ingram. And James Robinson has been pretty damn good. Look at his last 4 weeks, 19, 22, 20 and a half, 25 and a half. He's really been great. So a pretty safe floor of, say, 15 or so out of him. I honestly, I think I'm going to be fine. I could see Harry beating me, but if I have to predict one way or the other, I think I like myself in this matchup.
Who is – I mean, Harry's lineup's pretty set.
Unless he puts somebody different at the flex instead of David Njoku.
He could – Dalton Schultz, which I think is a better time because he was on bye last week.
He could throw Samaje Perine in there.
Schultz is like number 3 or he's up there in tight ends.
Yeah. He's got actually a few. Hunter Henry's caught a touchdown 4 weeks in a row. He's got some good tight end options. He needs to hit up.
Mark.
Needs to hit up Mark. Yeah. He needs to hit up Mark. Or Mark needs to hit up Harry. Whatever it is.
Look at Schultz. So last 4: 26, 17, 13, 12.
What's that, points?
Yeah.
Yeah, 26. Yeah, and the 17 is about an 18, and the 13 is really a 14.
And then he had
a 12 is really a 13. Yeah.
He had 1 3-point game. Other than that, he's 10 or above.
Yeah, that's like I said a few weeks ago. That's kind of thing freaking me out about CeeDee Lamb is that the offense seems to be getting geared more towards that like Jason Witten type of offense where you're hitting the tight end a lot more than you're throwing the ball downfield to a guy like CeeDee Lamb. I'm still quite high on Lamb, and I think he's going to be fine this week. Had the huge week before the bye, 36.1. We're picking him. I'm picking myself. I mean, no offense to Harry. I can see the path to beating me. Another monster Jamar Chase game. We've seen Deontay Johnson have a huge game. We've seen Mike Gesicki have a huge game. The Seattle defense isn't great. You could see the big game out of Trevor Lawrence. Maybe he finally goes off for 25 or so.
That's what I was going to say.
Probably some of that's to James Robinson.
I think he can close to match you, if not better you at quarterback.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, with Allen and Lawrence, yeah, I could see it.
And you don't know, like, you've got some question marks, like, do you start Rodgers? Obviously, you're probably going to.
Oh yeah, I have to.
But who?
If Dak was healthy right now, maybe I could talk myself into questioning it. Because Dak is the definite, and then do you start Rodgers or Heineke? But with Dak even being, even having the flag next to his name, I got to start Rodgers on Thursday.
Yeah, just because, and it's just one of those this week things because of
the Packers happen to play Thursday and stuff like it. That's just a decision that's going to have to be made, and so the coin toss will be Heineke and Dak, and I'm just hoping that this is the Cowboys being overly cautious, and Dak will probably be fine.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, I could easily see Harry outscoring me at quarterback. But I think I have him at tight end. I think I'm going to have him at flex. Wide receivers, questionable. Wide receiver 3, I probably get him. I don't know. I mean, yeah, CeeDee Lamb. If CeeDee Lamb's my wide receiver 3, however you want to shuffle them up, but Chase and Johnson could easily be better than Higgs and Moore. I mean, easily be better. But at running back is where I really have him. Patterson, and it'll be James Robinson. Buffalo's a very good defense. I don't know that 14 points out of Gaskin is going to happen. And Nyheim Hines hasn't scored 8 points combined the last 4 weeks. So I don't see 8 points out of Nyheim Hines.
So I don't have the pencil to do it. Not a lot of people pay attention to college game day. But, Lee Corso, he does the not so fast, my friend. I want you to pull up Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts.
Now look at his points per game. He's got the last 2 amazing ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, pull up Mike Gesicki. It's not as big of a gap as I think. He's got the 2 big 20s for Pitts, but Gesicki ever since, remember, because we owned Gesicki, it was that 0, then it was the whatever.
Yeah,
and
the 0 and the 7. Yeah.
And then ever since that point where they flipped to targeting him or whatever, he's got a pretty safe floor.
He has, yeah. I mean, one of the weeks, the 5 catches, that was propped up by the touchdown.
Yep.
But I do think Gesicki has a safe floor. But what we've been seeing out of Kyle Pitts, especially the last
2 games,
could be like that offense has gone back to Matt Ryan throwing the ball downfield. He's not doing it to Calvin Ridley, but he is doing it to Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is lining up wide a lot, and he's been the down the field guy. So while I do agree, I like Gesicki. I mean, he's been probably a top 5 tight end without looking. Just the floor alone has been really nice, and we do own him in the other dynasty.
And I just forget this because you may have said it. Who are you benching here?
Tim Patrick probably will end up not playing for me this week. I think I'll go CeeDee Lamb in this empty receiver spot, and then maybe Manny Sanders.
Yeah.
In the flex, because Tim Patrick has been very annoying to me, and I've missed out on the good Manny Sanders game. Patrick just, 3.6, 13, 15, 6.9. Jerry Jeudy's coming back.
Yep.
And you got Sutton, you've got Fant, you've got Jerry Jeudy. Tim Patrick's going to be the odd man out. So I don't really love him going forward.
Haven't they done a lot with Williams out of the backfield?
And you got Javonte catching balls out of the backfield. Yeah, I just think that Patrick is not going to be.
Yeah, I mean, and I didn't look at that part for you, and you mentioned it, but I was look at what you have in the lineup now. When you're starting DJ Moore, who's been solid all year long, and then CeeDee Lamb's, I think he rebounds this week and has a huge game. It's prime time.
You're not going to sit him. You're not going to sit T. Higgins against the Jets. You're not going to sit CeeDee Lamb, really, ever. You didn't draft him in the 4th round or 5th round, whatever it is to sit him. And it's got to be Patrick.
And James Robinson is the guy.
He's my RB1. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely my RB1. And then I can't not play Cordero Patterson. And thankfully I can put him at RB2. And then you look at Manny Sanders the last few weeks. Last several weeks, 26, 13, 20, 14. That looks like a better floor than Tim Patrick. Yep. And then maybe next week I get Michael Thomas back.
Yes.
And so I'm kind of hoping that Michael Thomas, maybe Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas kind of find some kind of rapport, and Michael Thomas kind of goes back to 80% of what he used to be.
Yeah.
That's still pretty good,
Well, and you didn't pay much for him, I think, draft capital wise.
No, I think he was
later, like teens.
I want to say 10 or so, but I don't really remember.
Yeah.
Let's how about draft results? I am kind of curious now.
Since we mentioned that.
There is Michael Thomas. 10th round. Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
So, I mean, who did I get after him? I got Brandon Cooks, Latavius Murray, Mecole Hardman. Madison, Heineke. So a lot of guys came after him that I am actually using right now.
Yep.
But the hope
The
was
upside.
I knew how many games he was going to miss. So hopefully he
Yep.
comes back and I'm able to buoy myself before then, and he comes back and gives me a nice boost. I'm still kind of hoping for it.
That would be nice.
Long story short, I think I can beat Harry this week. I don't know that I definitely do, but of course, if I'm a gambling man, I'm going to put the money on myself. I like myself this week.
I'll say Allen by $500,000.
Ooh, that's still a pretty big win, actually. Yeah.
So
I do. I think Harry could.
Yeah,
beat me.
I agree.
Maybe Josh Allen goes off. Maybe Trevor Lawrence goes off. And Chase and Johnson, like you could see it, man. I really could see it. But I also think it's going to be a big Kyle Pitts week again. And I think it could be a big Cordell Patterson week because the man, I don't know. Carolina really looked bad against the Giants. Maybe the Falcons aren't going to have to throw all over it. Maybe it's a Mike Davis week.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah.
Not really. I think I'll be okay.
I guess for me, I just got a few closing thoughts. Number one, I haven't looked into this, but I don't know how big of an edge we have. But I'd be willing to place a pizza bet with anyone that the West has the most combined total points between all of our teams at the year end.
Wow. I have not looked either, but I think
we're at 36.
Central now, right?
We're at 36. They're at what? 18.
I mean, you want to talk about some bad luck. I mean, Mark's had some bad luck, but Cal.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Cal has scored 5 fewer points than me. Mm-hmm. I'm 5-2, and he's 2-5.
Mm-hmm.
So football scheduling. That's the way she goes sometimes. But Mark's up there 885. So he's 3-4. He scored 885. His team has not performed the way that you would have thought his team would. But you look at the separation in our division, like I said, Cal at the bottom has scored 5 fewer points than me.
Well,
5-2, Cal 2-5.
And if you also look at the second place team, look at how many points he's had such a tough schedule.
Yeah.
And he's still 4-3. Oh, go to standings. Go to the standings up there, the top, and then click on the West.
Now I am loath to bring up.
Go ahead.
I should have about 37 or 8 more points than I do.
Yep.
If I would have had the run, from 2 weeks ago. But I'm not adding that. Of course, I'm not adding that. But I think I should have that. Trax knows I should have that, and I'm at.
Well, I think
I should be closer to 1,000. But
this is the payback for our gracious commissioner giving you the free win, and you deserve
karma. Yeah. That's the karmic realignment.
Yeah, the week 1 thing. And then the other closing thing was the pizza bet with the total points with Sam, and I'm going to beat Sam this week. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I think we pretty well covered it. We wanted to go about 45, and we went a little over an hour. So I think
not too bad.
I think we're pretty good for a week 8 preview.
Sounds good.
Thank anybody for watching. Thanks, Tony.
Yep.
Continue to be well, and we'll see you for the next one.
See ya.